every now and then it becomes necessary to remind everybody the way in which I play Football Manager. I would love to refer you back to episode 0 of this series, where I go into it in a little bit more detail, but just as a little reminder, I don't use the player search screen. I'm not going to get better scouts or a better assistant manager. I like them the way they are. It makes the game more challenging and more fun. I don't want to win every game and win the whole competitions and stuff. I want it to be a realistic challenge, which is why I let my director of football appoint my staff, my assistant manager, my scouts, my coaches, because I don't want them to be the best in the game, and I don't want to go out and find the best players in the game, because I don't know about you, I wouldn't make it 21 seasons into a save if I won the Champions League in season 5 and it just became a rinse and repeat job. I'd find that really boring. If that's the kind of thing you're looking for, you're just never going to find it here. However, what you will find here is a game that is structured in a way that I think makes it much more entertaining because it's more of a realistic challenge. And yeah, despite spending close to £1 billion in recent years, we're still struggling to qualify for the Champions League this year. And I, for one, find that fun. Hello and welcome to Season 21, Episode 3 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're away against Celtic in the Champions League and then at home against Newcastle in the Premier League. Since you were last with me, we've only played a couple of games. We had a fantastic victory over Stoke and then a pathetic defeat against Norwich. I don't know how that can happen because Stoke are one of the best teams in the game. Norwich are having a terrible start to the season. But all that means, 8 games in, we find ourselves down in 8th place. 8 points off top of the table Arsenal, which is a bit of a problem because we were hoping for a title challenge this year. Luckily, because we're a one-man team, Ruben Iribarren is top goal scorer, best player and second on assists in the Premier League. If he carries on as he is, surely sooner or later the rest of the team will catch up and we'll see ourselves start to push up that league table. We do need to beat Celtic today because the Champions League group is looking, I wouldn't say precarious. Dortmund are hovering behind us though, and it would be nice to put a little bit of daylight between us and them and settle ourselves into a top place position in the group before we go into the second set of games in this group stage. So the team that we're going to be playing against Celtic is this one. We've got Diaz in goal. I haven't signed a new goalkeeper because I haven't been able to find it on my scout reports. Consider that a blanket response to comments about the goalkeeper. I can't find a better one. If I could find a better one, I'd sign one. Believe me. Back four is Ribeiro, Uribe, Eriksson and Ndaya. Midfield of Sedman, Wagner and Ziyech. Oscar is in behind Vendrig and Iribarren. Let's get into this game. Let's go and score 10 goals against Celtic and get all giddy and excited again. Imagine if after all this faffing about we did go on and win something significant this season. It would just be so much more satisfying because we've gone about it the hard way. Yes, we're going to do well. Don't recognise any of the Celtic players. That's fine. I didn't really look at them properly. Occasionally I glance and then I remember that we're 21 years in the future. Unless they're a player who used to play for me, I'm certainly not ever going to recognise them. Celtic have started this game fully in control, though. Although we've had a couple of the early shots, but this is the first highlight of the game, and it's Celtic attacking, and we're struggling to get the ball back off them. But Uribe does intercept, and that's just terrible. He had so many options, and in the end, just decides to lump it back to Celtic for a counter-attack, and that was weird from Wagner. Sedman keeps it in, and we're struggling to get out of our own half here. Celtic are pressing as well, but we are clear now with Iribarren, who, I mean, that's a rare shot wide of goal from the best player in the world. I hope he doesn't miss any more chances this season, because then we start to have a bit of a problem. He's probably feeling so much pressure on him at the moment with Oscar going for a little bit of a difficult spell. Earlier in the season when Oscar and Iribarren were both brilliant, it was easy. Now Oscar's starting to struggle a little bit. Perhaps he needs a little bit of time out of the team again, maybe with Ortega coming in. But we need to... Oh, look at that. Look at that. That was beautiful from Oscar and Iribarren combining, just knocking the ball back and forth to each other on the edge of the area. Iribarren hits the post. We are all over Celtic, but we haven't had that breakthrough yet. Ziyech and Oscar combining to try and weed out another chance, but still it's not quite happening for us. Ziyech now on the edge of the area. Iribarren now picks it up to Sedman, to Wagner. And we're trying to we're doing this work the ball into the box thing again today, and we really are faffing about with it. We just need someone to put their foot through it. But Ziyech wins the penalty. Oscar to take. I think we might turn work the ball in the box off, because we've got so many talented midfield players who can score absolute beauties. With Ziyech, Wagner and Sedman playing deep, you don't really want to be discouraging them from shooting. In fact, I'm going to turn work the ball into the box off now, because we all know that all three of them are capable of spectacular long-range efforts. And we are piling so much pressure on Iribarren by forcing ourselves to get it into a position where he can tuck the ball away. So let's work the ball into the box off. And they've got the pig up front. Celtic have got the pig up front. Let me look at the pig. Why can't I look at the pig? Let's see what the pig's been up to in his career. Where is he? The pig has come off the bench. He's 28 now. Still hasn't played for Italy. Let's face it, he was never any good. He's going to score against us today, though. He had a decent-ish season in the Championship for Ipswich. They've got the blooming pig. Goodness me. Oh, he's gonna score 2 goals and they're gonna win the game, aren't they? We all know what happens when I click on an opposition player, even when it's as exciting as the pig being around. Right, Vendrig. I mean, he's just slow to everything. Liam Wells is getting closer and closer to regular starts. He scored in our last league game, or the league game against Stoke. Did the pig just score? No. So the pig said, God, that guy's got his 15th goal of the season and it's only October. That's more prolific than Iribarren. I know he's only playing in Scotland, but still, he's doing it in the Champions League against us as well, and that's a lovely finish. How old is he? I'm not going to scout him, because we don't need more strikers. We have lots of good strikers. Right, what we do need... The pig's won the ball in the air again, and Diaz, that was just nuts. I don't know what he was thinking. It came off, but wow, that was a risk. Ziyech now. Iribarren is in behind and can't quite get the shot away. I realise I claim Iribarren's in behind when he's not, but it's because he's so good that if he's level with the defenders, it's effectively him being 3 yards ahead of them, because he can make magic happen. He's in behind again here, and there is a perfect example of it. He had no right to win that ball. It was nowhere near him. That was the keeper's ball all day long, and Iribarren just... I mean, the keeper's not even running there. He knows he's fine, and Iribarren, lightning quick, just gets there first, puts us 2-1 up, and then, yeah, you pat your nipples, Ruben. You deserve it. Right, we're going to take Vendrig off. He's picked up a little bit of a knock. We'll bring on Liam Wells, swap those two over. Iribarren likes being the support striker. He scores even more goals from there. And Wells and Iribarren playing in this combination were excellent against Stoke. Iribarren's just scored another absolute beauty. It's 3-1 as Vendrig walks off the pitch. I thought Iribarren had scored less goals than that camera bloke. He hasn't. That's his 17 for the season. Oscar with the nice little ball across to set up. Iribarren, that's just absolutely stunning. And now Liam Wells has got half an hour in the Champions League to try and make an impression on European football. Iribarren, look at that. I mean, look at it, just running around and dancing and being a beautiful specimen of human being. Right, we're knocking the ball around quite nicely again now. We're getting some of our pomp back after the disappointment of Norwich, and that's a good thing. Aribi to Iribarren. Wells now. Quite deep for him, but Ziyech finds ball. Iribarren for the hat-trick. I mean, that's a hat-trick in, like, I don't know when he scored the first goal. When did he score the first goal? Those second two have been about 3 minutes apart. Ziyech massively involved this time. Iribarren, I thought for a second there he was going to knock it down to Oscar, but then he remembered who he was and just, oh yeah, I'm Ruben Iribarren. I'll just score this myself. That's how I roll. Let's take Wagner off. And we're going to bring James Burgess on. There's no point bringing... Well, there's no reason to bring Fiorentini on. We're not trying to get back into this game. I'm eager to give Burgess as much time as possible playing in midfield. So he can come on, have 20 minutes playing in midfield as the attacking playmaker. And it just gives him a little bit more time on the pitch. Now we'll take off Sedman and bring on... We'll bring on Medor, actually. He hasn't played for a little while. Fiorentini's played a lot of games, so we may as well just fully rest him and give Medor a little bit of a run out for 10 minutes. The pig, I don't mind if the pig scores here, although they've got about a gazillion players over as the pig crosses and they don't make anything of it. Dortmund are beating or have beaten Dynamo Zagreb, so as much as this win is helpful in getting us above Celtic, Dortmund are still 3 points behind us and breathing down our necks. Wells is battling away on that right-hand side. Look at that for the youngster. That was an excellent piece of just battling, attacking football at war with the Celtic left-back. And he won because he's a hero. I've noticed he seems to have spontaneously decided he can play on the right wing as well. We've not trained him to do that. He's just picked it up. I've never known that happen before. Is that something that happens, or is my assistant manager secretly training him to be a right winger for some unknown reason? I should probably check that, actually. That might be what's happening. But he was just an out-and-out striker when he broke into the first team squad last year. But now, if we have a look at Liam Wells, he is a striker who can also is accomplished on the right wing. Let's look at his training, actually. Is that... No. So why has he decided he can play on the right wing now? I mean, it's not a bad thing. It means that if we do need to go to the 4-2-3-1 at some point, Wells can play on the right-hand side, Oscar on the left, and we have a proper 3 to go behind Iribarren. So that's there as another option now. But we won't worry about that today because we've just thrashed Celtic playing the 4-3-1-2. Now we get to go and play Newcastle. It might be a sign of things to come, but we're dropping Vendrig. I can hear the cheers in the comments from here. Vendrig has been dropped. Liam Wells is in the team. So Iribarren drops back to support. Wells is going to be... They're still both going to be complete forwards because it's what they're both best at. There's not really an alternative. I guess we could make Wells an advanced forward, but he plays so well as a complete forward, it seems silly to do that. So I'll leave them as they are and give them a couple of games to see how they get on together. If they can't play together either, I'll finally accept it's 2 complete forwards together doesn't work, and we'll switch back to a poacher or an advanced forward here and let Vendrig and Wells and Burgess fight it out to see who's going to partner Iribarren, and Iribarren can decide if he wants to be the complete forward or the poacher. Fiorentini comes into midfield for Sedman as well. We are very, very close to full strength team again. Wagner, yes, he's playing as the central midfielder on defend for the 2nd time in a row. I still like him there. I know we're not supposed to play him there. I know I get told off for doing it, but I like him there. I like having Wagner in the team, and I don't really know why. He's clearly not as good as the 3 or 4 midfielders ahead of him, but I just like playing him. Yes, we want this more than Newcastle do. They've still got O'Brien in their team. It's like an Ipswich reunion episode today. Right, we've kept work ball into the box off. So hopefully from the start, these 3 midfield players who have all got incredible long shots on them will just start peppering the Newcastle goal with shots. And then as they bounce back off the goalkeeper or the post, that's where Iribarren and Wells come in. Wells has just scored after 4 minutes. And has run over to the bench and slapped Michael Vendrig in the face and told him that's how you do it. Vendrig is in tears, not because of the slap, because he sees the end of his Tottenham career, because this youngster has emerged. But Burgess is breathing down his neck as well. And if he's not careful, by the time the January transfer window comes round, he's going to be 4th choice striker, having not played for 2 months. And he doesn't understand where it all went wrong. 2 seasons ago, he scored 50 goals for us, or 48 goals, or whatever it ended up being. And he was the king of Tottenham. And how things have changed since then. But it does mean we might be in the market for a 4th striker. If we're going to move Vendrig on, if we can get 30 or 40 million pounds for Vendrig, maybe. I don't know what a good price for him is, really. We know he's capable of having a really good season, but he's only had 1 in 4 years. So I guess if we can get 30 or 40 million for him, that would be an absolute steal. So we could potentially invest a little bit in another striker. I don't know if another youngster is a good idea. When we've already got Wells and Burgess, we probably need someone a little bit more established. But then the problem is they get in the way of Liam Wells. So do we go full on youth development mode, move Vendrig on at Christmas and bring in an 18-year-old who can slot into that 4th place in the pecking order position and have Burgess as the backup to Wells and Iribarren and just really, really go for it with youth? I'm not sure. Or do we not? Oh, look at that from Liam Wells. That was spectacular. Do we sign a winger or 2 and experiment with the 4-2-3-1 again, or a 4-3-3, and just say, right, Iribarren is the best player in the world. Let him play up front on his own, and we can have Wells and Oscar and Burgess and Ortega and whoever else supporting from behind him, and maybe bring in a couple of wide players with the Vendrick money. And if there's a problem with Iribarren, Wells or Burgess can go up front if need be. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. As long as your thoughts aren't, Kev used the player search screen, or Kev, you need a goalkeeper. I know I need a goalkeeper. I still can't find one, and I'm not going to use the player search screen. Oscar's having another poor game. I mentioned it during the Celtic game. I think it might be time for Oscar to sit out for a couple of games just to recharge the batteries a little bit. We'll take him off now and bring on Ortega. I missed Oscar. How did I manage to do that? Right, let's try that again. And then we're going to bring Sedman on for Wagner and just swap those two around, because although a lot of people have said Fiorentini can't play there, I think he might be the long-term answer to central midfielder on defend. I know he's still a skillful attacking Kev-style midfield player, but look, physical, defending, speed. He's a good, I think, a good defensive midfield player. He's just better at other aspects of being in midfield. Ziyech is going to come off, and we'll bring Burgess on again for more midfield game time for James Burgess. He will become a Premier League midfield player. I will force it on him. Right, Iribarren, what can he do with it from here? He's just running, finds Wells. Wells gets his second of the game. Two completely different kinds of goal as well from Liam Wells. Complete forward. That's what he is. That's why we have to play him as one. But this was all made by Iribarren. But if it wasn't for the ability of Liam Wells, you don't do that with it. He's just hit it so hard, the goalkeepers have no chance. I think this might be the day Liam Wells arrives as a proper first choice Tottenham player at, what is he, 19, 20? I mean, it's players like this that make me think, oh, I could do 10 seasons here and just see what he can become. He's only 20 years old. He's come through our youth team. He's got 12 under-21 goals in 10 appearances, and he's played like an absolute hero today alongside the best striker in the world. And there's no difference between them. They've looked as good as each other today. How do we leave Tottenham? Unless he leaves. Man of the match, Liam Wells. I'm so excited about that. He's my new hero. Right, if you've enjoyed that, please make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.